Welcome to South Texas Football Unlimited, Coastal Bend's original, first, cutting edge podcast / webcast. Presented to you, as always, by Dawson's Recycling. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine. Hang on, I got to pull the chat up, dude. It's one of the things I forgot to do.
You probably couldn't see it.
There it is. Okay. Hey, if you guys are watching, let us know how we sound. We're kind of winging it here. I don't think we've ever had a show this close to Halloween, right?
Never.
No, I think it's a first. It's a first for us. So, happy Halloween.
Taking it in stride.
There he is. My wife's chiming in. She can hear us. All right, cool. How long do you want to keep this up, dude? This is a real pumpkin head. It's pretty heavy.
Well, I just scared the shit out of the boys. So if that makes you feel better. I did not plan this, by the way.
Oh, dude. So
first of all, take me through what's going on inside that dome. What's like in there?
So this was supposed to be a skateboarding gimmick, right? Remember last year was like the pumpkin challenge. Remember when everybody's just taking pictures of pumpkin heads and stuff?
Yes.
So, I started looking. I'm like, I wonder if anybody's done skateboarding. So, like last month, September or whatever, I was looking and I couldn't find anything that had anybody skateboarding. So I was like, okay, I think I have a winner here, right? Well, I got hurt, right? Falling and shit. So I hadn't really been skating in about a month, right? So we finally got around to getting pumpkins yesterday, Julie and I, because he wanted to carve pumpkins with his sister, right? So we went out and got them, and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get this pumpkin head now. So I didn't know how big of a pumpkin to get, right? Because I was like, well, I've kind of got a big head already. So I was like, well, I got to get one that I got to cut a hole in the bottom so my head could fit. Yes, Matt, it is very heavy. My traps are sore because this thing's resting on my traps. It's fun for a little while, but after that, it's a chore. So we got this thing, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So I carved it yesterday, and then it took a lot of carving. And this whole month, I'm wondering like, how am I going to keep this thing stable on my head?
Yeah.
So I was thinking of ways of putting hard hat harnesses in there and stuff like that, but that didn't work. Right. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to put it on my head, and it's not centered. If you look at the back of this thing, it's pretty beat up. So it's not a perfectly round pumpkin.
Yeah.
So this thing is actually leaning forward on my head. So I'm actually kind of hunchback. I'm not even sitting up straight. So this thing can kind of look semi-decent. See, now my head's back.
There we go.
But it's not fun, right? Here, let me bring this up a little bit so I can keep my head up. So yesterday, Julian and I went out and we were just kind of puttering around, dude, and it is hard to keep out. I feel like a baby, a 1-year-old learning how to walk. You know how they're top heavy?
Yeah.
And they're just kind of falling everywhere. That's what's going on here, right? It's so top heavy. And when I left the house, my wife told me, you better not try to do any stupid effing tricks on that thing. And I don't listen to my wife a lot. This time I did. And I'm very fortunate that I did, because this thing is very topsy-turvy. But the long story short, that's where it came from. And I'm just kind of running with it now. We got a couple of days till Halloween, so I'm just kind of getting some content out there, dude. The pumpkin's a local celebrity here in town. Yesterday it made an appearance just kind of around town, just skating around and stuff. Today it made an appearance at Ace Nutrition. We did a little collab there where I went and got some Herbalife in a little blood platelet bag, which was actually pretty cool. So that's out there right now. We actually just got in from filming some content. So I just got to pump this content on for the next couple of days, dude, because Halloween's in 2 days and I start work tomorrow night. So I got to jam this content in and try to
How much longer is that pumpkin head going to last before it disintegrates on you?
It's getting there, dude. So I figure tomorrow's probably the last day where it kind of holds the shape. If I wake up in the morning and it's wilted, I'm not going to lie, I will not shed a tear.
You need to go
Dude,
get
people
some
love it,
content
dude.
doing the downtown skate era with some
Oh yeah,
local
I got
skaters.
actually I've got footage. I can pull that up here in a little bit, but we're gonna take a quick break so we can get this stuff off, and we'll be right back. Brian, you're getting an extra ad this show.
Hi, I'm Brian Williford, president and owner of Al Williford Chevrolet in Portland, where we've been family owned since 1984. One word that we love around here is community. We have a heart for the coastal bend, which is why we value people first. Whether you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or a quality pre-owned vehicle, our friendly sales professionals are eager to help. We also have an amazing full-line service department featuring genuine GM parts and accessories to keep your vehicle running and looking its best. Plus, for life's accidents, we have a fantastic collision center where we repair all makes and models and work with most insurance carriers. Remember, when you buy from us, we're not looking for a one-time sale. We look forward to building a relationship together for years to come. Thank you, and we invite you to join the Al Williford Chevrolet family.
Okay, we're back. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear
Okay,
you.
that feels 100% better. So that was that's the pumpkin adventure there for the last couple of days. So that's what's been going on in this noggin here. I actually posted. Oh man, I got a sticker. So
I'm gonna side with Becca on that. I think you should ride your skateboard in the parade with the pumpkin head on, and probably lights wrapped around your body.
well, see, and there's not enough time because I wanted to get like LEDs for the inside of the head, and but they have to be battery powered. So that's the hard thing to find right now in a time limit. You know what I mean?
I have some.
Battery powered LEDs.
I think so. They're like twinkles though. I think they twinkle though.
Oh, see, I need something solid or something that like pulsates, you know. Here, I'm gonna share this one video and then we can jump into the show. Hang on. We're gonna get hit with a copyright thing here, probably. So
Oh well.
yeah, oh well.
Just glad you didn't keep going and get waxed by that semi.
That's what my wife said.
Dude. We might not get copyrighted because there's no music. I would still like to see the reaction. Because maybe you know this. Does the skate park around like the evening time when it's all lit up at night, downtown Corpus get pretty jam packed?
The one downtown Cole Park doesn't have lights, but the new one at West Guth does.
Does he get pretty jammed up?
You know, it does at night, and I kind of wanted to go out there last night. Julian talked me out of it.
Dude, you should have. I would have loved to seen all those dudes' reaction if you'd have just skated in with that and dropped in the bowl and just started rolling.
There probably would have been a fight. Look, my nose is all red. There probably would have been a fight. They probably would have called me a kook, and things would have gone downhill south fast. So yeah, well, I may try tomorrow. Actually, I may try to go Wednesday morning or Thursday morning when I get off of work because I'm off Thursday and Friday. So at 3 a.m, 4 a.m, when there's lights out, nobody's out there. That's probably an opportune time to get some footage.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm not going to try any tricks or anything like that because I will hurt myself and probably badly.
You could probably get one off your ramp.
I'm not really ready to use that on the concrete yet. I'm still finding my way on the dirt.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that tough, huh?
I just don't want to fall.
You're pretty banged up, huh?
Because, dude, if I have that pumpkin head on and I fall, that's it, dude. Pumpkin's dead. Like there's pumpkin everywhere. So I do have some ideas up my. I'm actually like. I don't know if you can see that. I'm storyboarding stuff, dude. Like I've got ideas that I've got to try to jam out tomorrow. But I've got like storyboards and stuff. Yeah, dude. Like
you're a modern day content creator, dude. Good for you.
Oh man, speaking of hobbies, I think you picked one up, didn't you? Last couple of days.
I did. So do you
Would you
remember
like to share with the class?
Yeah, do you remember the documentary on Netflix? I don't even know if it was a documentary, but you remember the show on Netflix? It was about that dude out in Arizona that was like real big into like the resale game. But like we're talking like vintage like jerseys, cards, dupe bags,
Oh,
dupe.
he talked all like he was on
He was
COT
a
bombs,
trip,
right?
bro. He was
Yeah.
a trip. He was like Action Bronson, right?
Yeah.
Is who he reminded me of. So back then, I wanted to create a shop like that, right? Uh, Here locally, but the overhead of that's crazy. To just like randomly pop up with one day, you got to find, the overhead alone and just the building itself is crazy. So I got on this crazy TikTok trend. I don't even know trend. I just like cruise TikTok every now and then, and if something catches my eye, I kind of start digging into it, and it dug into resale stuff on eBay and like Macari and stuff like that. And you already know I'm big in the resale game on Marketplace.
Yeah.
Selling stuff on Marketplace all the time. I sell everything at the house that like doesn't get used. So I figured, dude, I got these days off. I might as well start carousing, thrift shops and just any little thing that you might could find some bang for your buck. I really would like to branch out into garage sales, but it's not that easy to find them. I still haven't figured out how to find garage sales yet, believe it or not. And I'm pretty sure they're probably not popping off in the middle of the week either. So I'm gonna probably have to find it on a weekend. But yeah, dude, I'm already planning trips to like San Antonio, Houston, to start hitting up different Goodwills, different things like that, man. Because like some of the finds you can get are crazy, and that's my new side venture, right? Is resale therapy, right? So I already got like 10 listings going on eBay. So wish me luck. I can max out at 250. I've already figured out the
Nice.
algorithm too.
Nice. Okay. So we will now get into high school football talk.
There we go.
So the biggest thing that's making the rounds this weekend, I think we kind of fanned the flames on that, and it wasn't by any intent to fan a flame. We actually, I honestly don't have any opinion one way or the other on this thing. I don't know how you feel, but Refugio scoring 95 points against Freer.
Oh yeah.
So if you so this is what I saw we saw it on the Texas Football Tonight or Friday, right? What's that app called? Texas Football Friday,
Yeah,
right?
there you
That's
go.
the DCTF app. Well, if you've ever used that app, you can go. Anybody can go in there and change numbers on that thing. You can change the score. You can make the score 110-8 in the first quarter if you wanted to.
You'll get kicked, but you can do it.
Yeah. So when I saw that score, I was like, no way. So I asked Justin, I was like, you think this is real? And Justin was like, yeah, I think so. And as the night went on, it didn't change. It stayed 95-0, 95-0. I was like, dude, I guess this is real. And then I think the next day it was posted by ScoreStream that put it up that next day. And I was like, okay, it was real. And when I put the post up, I was just like, this was a conversation we had last night. We saw this. We didn't think it was real. And sure enough, it was real.
Yep.
But dude, like people from all over came out of the woodwork on this thing, right? And it had, and when we started getting these vibes, and you know what, I thought the meme was going to be retired because Coach Herring retired, but the what is too high, right? That was like, had very reminiscent feelings of 2011 when Outside the Lines made Jason Herring the most hated coach in the state of Texas.
America,
right? Yeah, America, because everybody saw that.
That was national.
Yeah, it was national. But and I think a lot of people just like to hate on Refugio. I'm going to read you some stuff I found over this. This wasn't the only blowout across the state. There was a bunch. And if you remember, there was a week last week where there was nothing but blowouts across the state. So South Lake Carroll had 73 points. Hearst Bell had 7. The Woodlands College Park had 70. Cleveland had 0. Fulshire 66. George Ranch 7. A&M Consolidated 86. Bastrop Cedar Creek 6.
I saw that one.
Piper 70. San Antonio Piper 75. San Antonio MacArthur 7. Austin LBJ 85. Austin Northeast 0. Brock 80. Burke Burnett 13. New Diana 84. Buffalo 0.
Yeah.
Now I'm not plugged in as well in those parts of the state with message boards and whatnot, but I didn't see. I haven't seen any hate with those games and the scoring and what these guys. I mean, I don't know what folks expect people, coaching staffs, and players to do at this point. This game went running clock in the second quarter. All the starters were pulled after the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect staffs and kids to do at that point?
Yeah. No, I think, the 70s doesn't really seem to get like hardly any mention or even hate because for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason, but I've never really seen the 80s, but you get that 9 on the board, right? Anything in the 9s, and I'd probably lump in the 8s. You're going to probably receive some kickback, some hatred, right? And of course, I don't know what's going on like in the Houston message boards or the Dallas message boards, or if there's even a message board basis for them to talk about it. But I think the thing is down here locally, like there's a pretty big message board group. There's a big Facebook following for high school football. And I think just sometimes people look on the outside in, they they ran up 90 something to 0 on a team, for no reason. But like you said, like I looked into it a little bit, and all the stuff you mentioned was brought up, right? They running clock, starters out. There's nothing you can do, man. Like it's not your team's fault or your coaching staff's fault to, not score points at a certain point, right? Like the thing is to me, it would be more offensive if you would just kneel it out 4 times and punt. That's even more offensive. And not to mention, you're going to make the game go twice as long. So, I would rather be scored on than have a person kneel it on me at the very end. Because to me, it's saying we could have done it, but we decide not to. It's almost like a lot of people see that as a classy move. Sometimes I feel like that's almost an asshole move because play it until the game's over, right? And that can go either way, right? I saw Coach Troutman do it this year. I saw Coach Davis do it this year. They kneeled it at like the 2 or 3 yard line as a classy gesture. But like at the same time, man, like you got backups in there, play it out, dude. Score the point, go for it. Give them another rep, another opportunity to make a stop. And if you can't do it, then you know what? Then preparations, maybe weren't all the way there. And that's not the team that scored's fault. And when you hang 95 to 0 on somebody, I mean, I don't know what else you could do, right? Like people are going to hate either way. So just play your game. And to me, honestly, I think the people that are hating don't realize how bad of that doesn't help that team that scored 95 to 0, right? It doesn't help you because look what happened. Your starters had to be pulled in the first quarter on probably a team that's going to go 3 to 4 rounds deep. So you're losing another week of preparation for getting your body prepared for a full 48 minutes of football, right? And that flashes back to the 2011 season when they brought it up on why he was doing that, And another thing too, like the seniors on that team that are so what? You're good. So you're going to get punished for being good? That doesn't make sense to me. So, people are going to have their opinions about it and whatnot, but I think hey, at the end of the day, no one can change that score.
No.
And it's not the team that's good's fault for doing everything they could possibly legally in a game to make it not happen. So, it don't really those things don't really faze me. I just see that as a wasted week for the team that scored that because you didn't get any better, right? You didn't get any better, and that's not hating on them. That's just the truth of it. Like it's the same thing when we play baseball. Like I'd much rather play a team that gives us a game than a team that we beat 15 to 0 in 30 minutes because what does that do for your kids? Nothing at all. False sense of I wouldn't say entitlement, but a false sense of security for sure, right? And then you get in a game when you actually have to play. Well, can you play for the full 48 minutes? Can you play for the full time limit? That's the knocker on it. That's the flip side. So, and the one bright side is you had kids that probably won't ever see the field, anytime soon on this year, get to actually get some meaningful carries for themselves. So that's a good side,
Yeah.
But I think it's the number 9 and probably the number 8 that really starts bringing the eyebrows up because the 7s, for whatever reason, I've never seen anyone freak out over a 70-0 game. I mean, But for whatever reason, you get an 8 and a 9 on that board, and heaven forbid, right? Oh, here they come, pitchforks out. Yeah. So
Found it.
You got no audio.
Oh, no audio? No. I can fix that. Hang on. It's coming. Hang on. Let me fix it. Give me a second. I forget. I got to do that with this sometimes.
Man, look how young Coach Heron looked.
Dude, I know, right? Sound. All right, let me see if that's going to work here. I always forget which one it is. You hear it?
Yeah.
There is no rule. That's the thing. There is no rule.
No.
I mean, it's sports, right? There is no rule. And like I said, I don't feel one way about it or the other. I think if my team were to get scored 90 points, I mean, it is what it is, right? If it's scored against me or if you score it, it is what it is. I may be in the minority, but that's just the way I feel. What about you guys, man?
Hey, you at least knew you had no chance, right?
I mean, yeah.
At the end of the day, you had no chance.
And then it'd be different. I think it would be different if the starters were in all 4 quarters. I think then you'd have an argument.
Yeah.
Right. Then you have an argument because you're saying this guy's gunning for that. I mean, you can't. I mean, somebody had commented on, if the kids are going half-assed, there's more risk of injury, right? And to piggyback on what you said earlier about, you think if it's more of an insult that they go kneel it, extends the game, but at the same time, those other kids may be getting upset as well, right, on the other team, and then fights ensue or some kind of extracurriculars or a melee or something, right? So it's like you can't win for losing in this situation.
Exactly.
Right. So that was that. And I think we can put that to bed. And this is the first time we've had that conversation. We've had this conversation on the show maybe once every couple of years.
Yeah.
Where this comes up. But yeah, I mean, it's not an incident that's isolated to Refair. There's plenty of schools that are scoring in the 70s and north, and not just this week. It's been multiple weeks. So it is what it is. But week 9, dude, it was all it was cracked up to be, right? Some of the games that we talked about last week, statewide, there were some big ones. Nederland and PNG. Nederland was up big in that game at one point. I think it was 21-7 at one point.
Yep.
And PNG pulled it, man. They brought it close. The final was 24-21. Nederland in 4 quarters. Man, I bet you that was an exciting atmosphere.
Yeah, and that's the first time I think Nederland's made that game meaningful as of late, right? Because that's a big rivalry game up there. And at least the last couple of years, PNG's pretty much ran away with that game, right? And I want to say PNG's, for the most part, ran away with the whole season up until this point, right?
Keep your
I
thoughts.
want to say that's the thing. And, shame on me for not getting on the DFW boards to see what their thought was. They were the biggest haters of PNG, right? They're still upset about South Oak Cliff and whatnot. So I knew they would be revved up for that L for PNG. But that was a little shocker to me. I still had PNG winning that game.
No, they've actually had some very close games this year.
Have they really?
Yeah, so Huntsville, 24-21 win. Lake Creek, 62-56 win. LaPorte, 49-35. So they've had a few close ones.
LaPorte's got a good team, if I'm correct. They just beat someone this past weekend that had some meat into it. Was it Manville?
Well, LaPorte's 5-3.
Who they beat this last weekend? Was it Manville?
Crosby.
No, Crosby. That's Crosby. I think Crosby's having a down year.
Yeah, I don't think they've really been the same since that state run.
No, they went through a really good run, then they went through a down spell, then they had the state run, and then they've had the dry run again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know.
So that turned into a good one. Westlake at the Battle of the Lakes, Westlake and Lakes Travis, 28-16, Westlake. North Shore and Escacita, 27-23 North Shore.
Did you see the ending of that game?
I did not.
So it was 23-20 or 23-21, and maybe like a couple seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter, and North Shore was probably at like the 8 or 9 yard line. And Quarterback threw an out route in the middle of the end zone to a wide open kid. End of the game.
Wow.
Tascasita was up. Yep. Who
Wow.
Tascasita's got a lot of good attention this year because they put together a really, really good gauntlet of a schedule as well. And I think that was their first loss.
It was. I think they were both undefeated.
Yep. So that was I would have liked to see that game in person because they play it pretty frequently, and I think North Shore's got the upper hand most years. So Tascasita, man, they had a chance.
Yeah, 7-1.
Yep.
And
North Shore 8-0.
yeah, North Shore's 8-0. They've beaten Kingwood, Humble, Summer Creek. Summer Creek 42-39. That was probably a good one. They beat Westlake 39-20. They beat Westlake 39-21. They beat Katy High 41-24. So they've got some impressive wins on the schedule.
That was North Shore?
No, that was at Tascasita.
That was a Tascasita? Yeah. So Summer Creek was the team that came off that state run last year.
They played for state last year. Bay City! Daniel Gonzalez, Bay City in the house. Man, we almost went to that game last week, and that's the next one I was going to just jump into. El Campo at Bay City, 26-20 Bay City. I think El Campo led most of that game, and then Bay City came and pulled it off at the end. That sounds like it was a good one, man. And
that's probably where we should have went.
Yeah. I mean, just the way things turned out. But Edna was good. I mean, we got some eyeballs on some good ball players there in Edna.
Oh yeah, no. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast at Edna. That was my first time being in that stadium. Really cool stadium. That was the first stadium I've seen where they tilted the jumbotron.
The scoreboard, right? That was weird, right?
The home side. If you're the visitor side, you kind of got to crick your neck a little bit to get to that scoreboard.
Yeah.
But I thought the light show was cool.
Let's hold on to that one. We'll hold on to that one because that's in our week 9 review. And then the other one, the heartbreaker in overtime, Columbus at Hitchcock, 37-36, Hitchcock in overtime. And hey, dude, big props to Schobel. He went for the win, obviously. It was a missed 2-point conversion in that one.
Yeah.
And they scored and got a 2-point conversion with like under a minute left in regulation to send that game in overtime.
Did you see the end of that one too?
I didn't see the end of it.
I think I shared it as well. It was probably like a 30-40 yard pass to the end zone that tied it up.
Oh, it was a 50-yard touchdown. That's right.
He
Small Town Preps posted it up there. That's right.
Yeah,
I didn't see it, but I saw what it was.
Up to that receiver. I think the thing there is for Columbus, I'd rather take that loss now in the regular season, and hopefully you found what your flaws were, what you need to fix, right, and get it corrected for the playoff run. And I'm very curious as to what Matt's talking about right there. I'd like to know how beat up. Oh, that sucks. But I also heard Hitchcock lost their quarterback in that game.
Oh, really?
I don't know at what point in the game he went down, but I saw people saying that they were wishing the quarterback well. So it made it seem like he went down at some point in that game. So that's interesting because Hitchcock just bumped up themselves up into the number 1 seed in state. So,
Yep, there it is. He's right.
Oh,
for the season.
Dang. I wonder what quarter that was in. Either way, it don't matter.
Yeah,
but
so I had the Bay City thing backwards. Bay City led. El Campo made it a comeback. Looks, and that says they won on a 4th and 2. Bay City defense came up big time.
Wow, what a game! But yeah, man, that was a tough one. So hopefully they bounce back, they get healed up, and they can make that run because they were on a stretch there, dude.
Second quarter went out. Second quarter, and that was a game we talked about a few weeks back, trying to make it out to, right? That was one that was because we had wanted to go to a Columbus game in Columbus. We had that one circled, and when the schedule came out, it was on the road. So that kind of maybe we won't do that one. It's the legends are born there in Columbus, Matt. Legends. Oh man, but that was it for the state. It was a pretty interesting week across the state. I'm pretty sure Matt saw some good ones. I don't even remember where he was at last week, Matt. So just chime in when you can.
El Paso. El Paso, right?
So locally, let's talk about the Thursday night game you went to. GP at Carroll, the Battle of the Bridge. Tale of two halves in that game, right? GP legends eat shovels. GP went to the half 7-0, and the final was 42-7 GP. What happened?
Well, the offense got clicking, right? It seemed in the first half, man. I'm going to give credit to Carroll because their run defense was very stout up front. It seemed like Portland could not move the ball on the ground to save their lives. Like 2-3 yards was like a good run in that first half for them. And the pass game was there. First drive, they took it all the way down the field, right? Marched the field, got within the red zone, had a bonehead, holding call that kind of derailed the drive, right? Went for it on fourth down, didn't get it. Same thing. Carroll turned the ball over immediately on a fumble, moved the ball, got to the goal line, couldn't punch it in. They're at the 3-yard line, couldn't run up the middle and get in. That was crazy. And then, it was really for a while there. I was like, man, this is a pretty good defensive battle we got going on here. And then right before the half, they finally busted one on a run. They kind of sprung the game for Portland a little bit, and it was 7-0. And then they came out in the second half, man, and Reed and Coates kind of just started linking up pretty consistently. And then
I like that Coates kid, man.
Dude, I was sitting there that night thinking to myself, he is so underlooked as a receiver, especially not just in the area, but just in general, man. Like he's really quick, has great footwork. Once he comes down with the ball, has really good hands, and he just seems to run really good routes as well, right? He always finds himself getting open like that. He's undervalued immensely in this area, and it took me up until now to really kind of like think about that, like just sitting up in the stands. Because I sat up in the stands. I didn't go down the field for this gun. I just hung out with the family up top and watched. But they busted open the second half, and I'll give credit to the other two receivers. I can't think of his name right now, but number 7 had a couple really good grabs, and then of course the backup quarterback who plays receiver as well, number 11. Dominguez. Carter had a really good catch and run a couple times and whatnot, and then Adame finally kind of got it going a little bit as well. But for the most part, dude, I was impressed with the Carroll run defense. Their pass defense got kind of leaky, but I think that's credit to just how good the offense in the air was going for Portland at the time, and then Portland's defense just really played really good all night. They didn't really let Muhammad ever get free. I'm not sure what he finished with, but I wouldn't say anything more than 30 to 40 yards.
Man, it was not a lot.
Maybe. And then quarterback-wise, they would move the ball a little bit, but there was a lot of inconsistency going on there at the receiver-quarterback combo in Carroll. And one thing I was talking about, I don't know if I was talking to you about it on the car ride to Edna, but I was just kind of watching that game, right? And it was still like 0-0. And, Carroll's moving the ball. And I guess, they had just a respect for GP defense because they got into about the 40-yard line on a fourth and manageable and punted it. And to me, I was thinking at that point, your defense has held up pretty good. You finally got the ball into plus territory here. Just go for it. Give it a shot. Like, take your shot because you never know, man. That could bust that game open a little bit. Or at least kind of maybe give you some momentum going into the half, and they punted it away, which was kind of shocking to me, especially considering today's modern football, right? Like you see a lot of guys go analytically. They go for the fourth down once they get into plus territory. And then another kicker for Carroll that I'll bring up before we move on was turnovers, man. They fumbled the ball a lot in the second half.
Yeah, so five fumbles, they lost 4.
That was pretty much what kept doing them in the second half. And Portland just capitalized.
Yeah, there's not even – I'd have to look. I have to go on Twitter and look at Quentin's stats, but in the paper, there's not even a mention of Muhammad in here on what he did on the ground. So
I mean, dude, if it was more than 30 yards, I'd be shocked.
Here we go. Let me see. 49.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 carries, 49 yards.
Yeah, not a lot.
No, not a lot at all.
For him.
Yeah. But he's coming off an injury. I don't know. You were there. You saw what happened. Defense just put clamps down on him. That's what it sounds like. Yep. And then we jump on to another game, which has been big the last couple of years. And this one, I think it kind of lost its luster a little bit this year. Ingleside at Sitting at Ingleside. 52-21 Sitting. I think Ingleside scored first in that one. and had the Ingleside guys feeling pretty good, and then Sitton just did what Sitton does.
Yeah.
Again, without Derek this week again, just sitting him. He'll probably make an appearance maybe the week before the playoffs, if not at the playoffs, but sitting him again, letting him heal up. But it was all sitting in that one. I don't think there's very much to say in that game. And then George West at Santa Rosa, 44-16 George West. Santa Rosa is just like we said the last couple of weeks. They're hitting the meat of the schedule now, and they're having a real hard time.
Yep.
Tegan Collins had another pretty good night, 15 for 20, 158 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 6 carries, 122 yards, and a touchdown. Their running backs had another outstanding night as well. So now the next couple of weeks in 16-3 is spoiler games, essentially. Odom plays Banchetti this week. They finished with Santa Rosa. Taft plays Hebronville. I think Hebronville plays George West the last week of the season to try to play spoiler. There's ways for them to be a log jam at the top for that top 1 and 2 seeds, but we'll see if anybody can play spoiler. But I think George West is too good for any of that to happen. I think if they keep their eyes on the prize, they'll be just fine. They'll walk away with the district championship.
They pieced together a really good season so far. I didn't see that coming, and that's partially my fault because we didn't look a whole lot at George West coming into this year, but I mean, it seems like every week, dude, they come up with just another impressive win for what they got, right?
Yep.
So I agree with you. I think they'll probably get into that DC pretty easily if they just continue to keep churning away, right, 1 yard at a time. But yeah, I'm interested. I'd like to see that Santa Rosa and Odom game because that's going to have some bearing, right, on the playoff berth.
So Santa Rosa can play spoiler as far as seeding goes, right? Because Santa Rosa's got 2 losses already. They lost to Taft. They lost to George West. Odom's got 1 loss. So if Santa Rosa beats Odom, that throws that jumble in for the number 2 spot, right? So I would think head-to-head with the matching record, same amount of losses, Santa Rosa gets the 2 spot, Odom drops to the 3 spot, right? But there's probably some other kind of weird mathematical calculation that's in there as well. Who knows? Some of that magic math. I'll call it UIO math. Looking ahead, so since you brought it up, week 11. Let's see. Well, that's actually in the Valley, dude. Let me see, dude. Vets Flower Bluff.
Okay.
Sitting Rockport Fulton. Three Rivers Refugio. Yeah, I mean, if the last couple of years, this game, they've both been going on undefeated.
How it was when we went to that game.
Into that last week. Yeah, it was just kind of the same way last year, too.
The most exciting part was running into the chicken costume guy.
Oh, the chicken costume.
Is that Good and Crisp chicken, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God.
And then our last game, which we kind of mentioned earlier, our game of the week, Goliad at Edna, 49-21 Edna. What'd you think about it?
Man, so first of all, I love the atmosphere that Edna had. They had a really good crowd. Goliad brought a really good crowd as well.
It was nice. That's one of the things. So I took pictures of both sides before you go on. I took pictures of both sides of the stands, and it was nice to see a full stadium.
Yeah.
On both sides. It was very nice because we hadn't seen that in a long time.
Yep. And at the beginning of the year, what did Coach Schopel tell us when we were talking to him after that game, right? 3A D1 football is probably the best class. He thinks it's the best classification for football in the state, right? And there's a little bit into that, man. And when you really think about it, there's just some tangible things about small town football that you kind of miss at, for instance, the Carolyn GP game, right? You're playing in Buck Stadium. The crowd's decent.
Not feeling it.
It's decent, right, for what it is, but it's definitely not like Battle of the Bridge back in the day when both sides were jam-packed. And then it's just kind of, I like Buck Stadium, but it's just kind of we've been there so much. Maybe for me, it's just kind of vanilla, right? It's got some history to it and whatnot. And for the, you feel it out on both sides, like the Vets and Miller game, it was awesome. But man, when you have these small towns like that and both sides are jam packed, You have the old, like, I just picture in my head like 60, 70-year-old man calling the game on the PA. It's just a, like, that is like Texas high school football to its core, right? And you got that Friday night, and then they bring in the light show when Edna scores, and you have all the little theatrics, right? Edna coming out. I thought it was really cool. They had the gate off of the chute for them coming out of their helmet. You know, even the pride stickers were sweet, right?
There's a Punisher skull with the cowboy hat.
With a cowboy hat on it, like that was kick ass. And you know, and Goliad on their side, man, they brought a really good crowd. They had a really good football program revved up to go. I mean, they were hitting each other, dude. Like there was no love lost.
No, none at all. There was a lot of flags in that game. A lot.
A lot of chirping on both sides. But yeah. I was, you know, overall, I was impressed with, you know, what both teams had, but I was just really impressed with the athletes that Edna had on that field, man, and the size they had on that field, right? If they, and we heard Coach Mitchell talk about his team after, you know, if we, you know, clean up the crap is what I think is what he said, but clean up the extras, right? Clean up those extra penalties they got, you know, that kind of either extended or killed a drive here or there, and they're going to be kind of poised, I think, to make a pretty good little run here for this area, and had a blast, man. It was a good game. I had a blast. Ace wasn't too far off on his prediction, so that was kind of cool. And then,
he was kind of changing that score up a lot. I was like, hey, what did you have the score as? He was changing that score up a lot.
Yeah, he did. I added to well, you heard his initial pick, right? At the very first, before I had so I think he said the first score 42-0 Edna. And I said, hey, the Tigers are pretty good. Let's show some respect here. Yeah. Right? Let's have a little respect. So then he gave him, what did he end up giving him? Was it 35 or 28?
I can't remember, but we forgot.
He gave him something, but it wasn't as easy.
We forgot to get the prediction out of him, you know, to get it on film.
Yeah, we'll have to do that next game. But yeah, I laughed in my head because I tell him, hey, show a little respect here, dude. I said, you remember what happened in the Kingsville game, right? You said 55-0 and that got washed away quick. Let's rethink this first, then give me a good prediction. He's a trip, man. I've caught on to him. So if whatever side of the stadium he comes in on, he's more than likely he's gonna giddy up with them, especially if it's right around the time of people coming out of tunnels and there's some excitement going on. Yeah, he's probably going to pony up on that side of the coin. And I'm not going to lie, he's been known to try to switch himself up before in games. For sure, when we're watching a TV at the house, he's done that multitude of times. But, yeah, dude, he had a blast. He finally was able to throw the football around a little bit. They were a little more strict on the rules, so he was kind of – he was kind of pissed about that at first. I had to talk him off the ledge. But the Kona ice –
we saw a big man touchdown.
Helped. But
we saw a big man touchdown.
Yeah. Definitely. Hey, are you losing your connection or is it me?
I think it's you. Hang on. Let me see. I think it's you. Let me close some stuff on my end, stuff I don't need open. Let me see. Oh yeah, you froze, dude. Hey, if you can hear me, jump off and then jump right back in. There you go. Yeah, technical difficulties. We did talk about this a couple weeks ago. They were working on Justin's internet stuff, and he may have had to dip out last time, but we made it through, fortunately. And I don't think we're that lucky this time. He's back. Can you hear me? You're very fuzzy.
Was it me?
I think so.
You went blank on my screen. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, did I really?
Yeah, it keeps saying lost connection, but I got bars here. I don't know. It's Halloween.
Yeah, yeah. But that's really it for our week.
We can't do ourselves. We cannot not mention this. Ray got themselves a playoff spot.
Maybe.
Right?
So they beat Moody. But when I said Ray's in, Coach Evans chimed in and said not necessarily. So I think some other things have to happen first. I think they may have to win out I don't know. It's what he said. I don't know.
Really?
Coach, if you're in here, I know you're a watcher, a shadow watcher. Explain, because that's too much math for us, Justin. Uh, we're not going to do that. You know who's good
Yeah,
at doing all that
that's
math? Chris Tomlinson. He's good at doing all those scenarios and that stuff. So we haven't had him on a while. Maybe we get him on just to talk math. Playoffs are coming up. We're definitely going to have to do a play. We're doing a playoff show at Al Williford again. We need to bring some guys in for that one too. Have a nice little fireplace campfire show there at the dealership.
Oh, you know Brian would love it.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's take a quick break and then we'll look at there's not a whole lot on the slate next week, but we'll look at the 5 games next week that kind of raise the eyebrows. So hang on just a second. He just dipped out. Hang on, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Brian Williford, president and owner of Al Williford Chevrolet in Portland, where we've been family owned since 1984. One word that we love around here is community. We have a heart for the coastal bend, which is why we value people first. Whether you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or a quality pre-owned vehicle, our friendly sales professionals are eager to help. We also have an amazing full-line service department featuring genuine GM parts and accessories to keep your vehicle running and looking its best. Plus, for life's accidents, we have a fantastic collision center where we repair all makes and models and work with most insurance carriers. Remember, when you buy from us, we're not looking for a one-time sale. We look forward to building a relationship together for years to come. Thank you, and we invite you to join the Al Williford Chevrolet family.
Okay, we're back. Dude, you are fuzzy still.
I went back to my phone. Is that better now?
You're still fuzzy.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, it shows I got full bars.
Yeah, let me see what I mean, my connection looks good.
I really need to redo my router, I think the Google Mesh system is not working out like it used to, or its Spectrum. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's pissing me off. It really is.
Well, no, there. Now you're cleared up now. You're cleared up now.
I don't want to go on a rant, dude, but damn, man, I pay all this money for this internet, and it's just like.
I think that's telling us to get the Elon service, dude.
I'm thinking, how much was it again?
It was like $300 to get started. And then $100 a month, I think is what it was.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, shit, it's what I'm paying now. Michael Richard Ray has a solid freshman running back named Brian McCullum. He is going to be helping Ray for the next few years. Well, we'll keep an eye out. That's one of the programs Ray and King that we were hoping we'd be able to kind of build a bridge with those two programs this year during the preseason show, and we had some unforeseen circumstances came up, did not allow them to make it out. But it's definitely two programs that we do want to, link together with. That way we're inclusive of all the districts in this area, especially the Corpus Christi area. Maybe next
year, if we get ahead of this thing, now that we got Brian on board and get 3 nights worth of teams coming through, I think it's really doable to get everyone there.
Yeah.
I had a blast doing it. I know Brian had a blast doing it. You had a blast doing it. I think the teams that were involved with it really had a good time with it. So, now that we got that and we have the content to show the guys that were kind of on the edge, like, hey, look, dude, this isn't just a gimmick. This is legit stuff.
Yeah.
I think we really have a good opportunity to get a lot of those teams in this year or next year that we didn't get this year.
I think so. I hope so. So week 10, there's some district championships, 1 and 2 seeds on the line this week. We'll start with one that's kind of out of the area, but not really. I guess it is kind of El Campo at Port Lavaca. Port Lavaca started off really slow. They had a really tough non-district slate, but they've been coming around as of late. If you don't remember, I think they were ranked number 22 coming into the season. Preseason number 22 in 4AD1. So that's going to be a big one this week. El Campo at Port Lavaca. I think Port Lavaca's already lost to Bay City. I think I'd have to look at the schedule, but I think they've already lost to Bay City. So it's essentially for the 2 spot right here. Another big one, we mentioned it earlier, Hebronville at George West. This is Hebronville's chance to play spoiler. But Hebronville, this is a down year for Hebronville. And I think George West has too many horses in the stable right now. I think they're just I think they'll have no problem with this one.
Yeah, I think George West is going to take that pretty easily.
I think so. And this was an eyebrow raiser. And if it wasn't, Bay City plays Port Lavaca last week. So they have not played yet. Interesting. So that's That's definitely an eyebrow raiser there.
I'm gonna say this about Portland vodka. There's been times in the past where I think people have written them off in games like that, and myself included, and then they shock you and win that game.
Well, they went on that run a couple years ago with that terrible regular season record, and they went what 3 rounds deep.
3 or 4, I think it was 4, is what made it so impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was it us talking about this, but someone was saying this might be Coach Whitaker's last year.
Who said that? It wasn't us, but I heard that talk somewhere. I don't remember who said it, but I've heard
He's
it.
getting ready to retire, and this is possibly and he's going to hand it off to one of his assistants he's had for a long time there. So it's not really going to change. I think it was Paco.
Oh, really?
I think that's where we heard it from.
Interesting.
He's pretty plugged in over there.
Oh, very, very.
So
we'll play in Bay City. Interesting. Here's a big one that was an eyebrow raiser, and if it wasn't for, so I will not be anywhere this week. It is Odom homecoming this week, so I will be in town doing the school board alumni stuff in town. So I will not be hitting the road for any games. But if I was, this was definitely an eyebrow raiser. It's Agua Dulce at Ben Bolt. In Ben Bolt.
What's the records going into that game?
Well, Agua Dulce is undefeated. And I know Ben Bolt has lost to Odom.
To answer your question, Michael, yeah, PLC still has the heavy run offense.
Yeah, they're 5-3. Oh, actually, this is not for seeding because they lost last week or 2 weeks ago to La Villa, 29-26. So, okay, I take that back. It kind of takes the luster off the game a little bit. But Ben Bolt can play spoiler in this game. And there's a guy who's maybe playing right now from Ben Bolt on one of the biggest stages in the world right now.
Who?
Jose Trevino.
Oh, duh. Jesus.
Yeah. For those of you guys, the catcher of the Yankees, he is actually a Ben. He went to John Paul, but he is a Ben Bolt native. Our guy, friend of the show, J.R. Castillo, he's a Ben Bolt native as well, and he put this long post there the other day, pretty much saying, a small kid from Green Acres out there can make it. I mean, that should open a lot of kids' eyes. He had Did you see that thing that was making the rounds?
Yeah, I was
about youth baseball the other day.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. Really good take on it. And I'll say this because the connection I got with Jose is
It's a tournament, right?
Yeah, he does his Trevi's World Series. Last year was the first year doing it in his hometown here in Corpus. Dude, they blew it out of the water. It was by far one of the coolest events that we've been a part of to date in the baseball. And that includes going to Destin, Beaumont, all the fun stuff we did in the summer. Blew it out of the water. But when we met him and during the tournament, I mean, he would come in, he would sit on the ground in the middle of the game, like on the dugout next to the coaches or their kids, and just watch baseball, just enjoy baseball. And his son played in the tournament on a team last year. And, he wasn't one of these crazy people that was, getting ape shit mad over his team losing or anything like that, man. He was thoroughly there for the kids. And that interview he had, man, that's authentic, dude, because just meeting the guy and talking to him the couple times I did last year about it, signed every ball or hat, whatever you wanted. Very nice guy. You can't say enough about him. But that interview I watched, man, that dude's authentic, and that's not no bullshit made up for the TV stuff. That's like straight up legit from Jose Trevino himself, dude. That's a really good one. I hope we share that to the page if we can. But
I'm trying to find it, but like with our Facebook page on YouTube, the search bar is gone because we have a business type page. So I can't find. I know Larissa shared it, and that's who's I was gonna pull up. You know what? I might be able to pull it up on Twitter. That's easier to find. Let me see.
Yeah, dude, he was cool, man. We won that tournament for our age division. We got these custom gloves with a Corpus Christi skyline on them from the Go Gloves. Probably a $300 glove in itself. He took in a gold marker and signed every single palm on the inside of that glove, dude, like for a keepsake. We will never use that glove. That glove's like put away for Ace when he gets older. That's a really cool. little token, right, to have as he gets older and whatnot. Jose Trevino, I want to say he signed it, Gold Glove catcher, whatever the year was. Very cool, dude.
He signed a hat for my wife. Remember,
Yep.
you got that. You took care of that for us. So yeah, we're appreciative of that.
Did that. I got my nephew a ball signed. I got a ball and hat for signed for Ace, and then he took every photo you could ask of. Right? Yeah, I mean it was awesome, dude. Like if he come, they're coming back, dude. You need to tell Becca to get over there because the rumor last year he was bringing Yankees, and that didn't happen because of some stuff happening. I think in off-season contracts and just like timing. But he brought the bananas. That was sweet. You know, I think the bananas are more popular than MLB players right now with these kids, but. That was fun in itself. Brought a lot of the local guys that are in the MLB right now, like Blake Mitchell, Nick Lofton, Kel.
Hey, Blake Mitchell was at the Sid and Ingleside game last week.
Was he really?
Yeah.
That's cool. So, yeah, man, it's pretty interesting. It was pretty fun. Dude's legit, and that interview was legit.
Kayla and Daniel
right now, though, dude, they might get swept, by the way.
That's what it's looking like. These last few games in District 15 are going to be for seeding. Second and third seeds are going to have tough second round matchups with San Antonio Davenport and LBJ. Yep. There's my wife. She's there, and she puts little the smiley emoji with the hard eyes. I don't know how to take them.
He's a handsome looking guy. I'll just say that. They're up 5-4. They're up 5-4. By the way,
I just saw. I was trying to find that story that I see Lariska posted it, and there was how that Spirit Halloween costumes Aaron Judge in the playoffs. It's an empty container.
Wow.
And then our game of the week. Actually, there's one more that I missed. PSG North at Flower Bluff. So this is Flower Bluff's first real test. And we've talked about this earlier in the season where, Flower Bluff hadn't really played anybody.
Yep.
They had 2 non-district games. The rest is a big Valley district, right? Them and Veterans Memorial are in. So they'll play North this week, and then they finish the season with Vets. It's like Fort Knox to get into Flower Bluff. We can't get in. That's because their district's policy is, as far as credentials go to the news stations and the local newspapers. That's it. They don't give credentials out to anybody else. So we cannot go to that game. It will be streamed. It'll be on FBISD's YouTube page. So that game will be streamed. PSG North, that when we were talking about this earlier in the year, when they played Vets, we had some folks in the chat saying, "Oh, it's not the same PSG North team. They lost all their linemen." Not true. Not true. They are still good. They still have some big linemen. They have some very good quarterback play. This is going to be a very good test for Flower Bluff and for PSG North, I think.
Oh no, absolutely. This is playoff atmosphere right here, right? Yes. Breaking in almost the November run for the playoffs, knocking on the door, right? Halloween game. Yeah, dude, this is playoff vibes, 100%. This is normally a playoff matchup, honestly, like round 2 or 3. So to get this game here in the backyard, if you can, venture over to Flower Bluff and watch it if you have nothing to do or your team's out of town, because I think it's going to be a really good game.
Well, I tell you what, the Valley side's probably sold out already, because the Flower Bluff visitor section is not very big.
Yeah,
so sure. That side's probably sold out already. If you can get a home ticket, get over there. If not, watch the stream. I'm sorry, continue.
No, you nailed it on the head, dude. Get over there and watch it. And if you can't watch it on the stream, I'm going to try to stream a little bit of that game myself. This is my first set of nights, probably in almost a year coming up, damn near. So I'm going to be missing that game. And
dude, that's right. You're not even going to see. I'm not used to you being on shift, and I was already expecting you to be at the game of the week, Miller at GP.
Oh, and I was there.
You can't even make that one. Yeah.
Well, I was there for sure. I got seats there. I won't be there though, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's going to be a good one, man. I think this is one of those too close to call games.
Really?
I think so. I think so because, man, I just don't know how well they're going to perform against a good team. Flower Bluff.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I cut them some slack with the scheduling because, you had 2 non-district games you could schedule. in that case, I mean, do you want to schedule hard going into this long district slate?
Well, look at your district and
I
answer
guess you
that.
have to, right? I
You
guess
have
you have
to,
to, right? Yeah.
have to, man. Because their district really hasn't done much for them.
No.
I don't think this is your first true test, right? And lucky for them, it's right before playoffs. So if you do have stuff you need to clean up, which you probably will, you're going to get a chance to see it now. But Flower Bluff normally shows up in the big game, and for the most part, I think they'll do that Friday night. I'm going to go with Pelucio. I think he's a dog, and the Flower Bluff defense to get this win over PSJA. But I do think it's going to be a really good game. I'm going to take Flower Bluff at the home side. I think this is their we're going to show you how good we are week. So give me the Hornets for sure in this game.
So I heard an interesting theory the other day, and I'm going to share it. So Flower Bluff jumped up in the rankings this week.
Yeah.
I think they jumped up to number 3. I think.
Okay.
Let me pull the rankings up real quick. Hang on, before I start shooting off the hip. Hang on.
Local rankings?
No, state rankings.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Hang on. Let me pull it up real quick. Number 8. Not ranked last week. Number 8 this week.
Okay.
So the theory I heard was, do you think DCTF pumps these ratings up before these big games? Because the same thing happened with Miller before they played DeSoto.
Ooh. I don't think they do, just in the fact of what does it benefit them for.
And so the next question I asked was, is Texan Live streaming this game? Texan Live is not streaming this game. FBISD. Okay. So there went from my opinion, there went the
credibility behind that.
The credibility behind that theory. But it's an interesting theory, right? It's an interesting theory.
It is an interesting theory, but no, I don't think they do that on purpose.
Yeah. Dude, I'm just gonna put the homer hat on. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna pick Flower Bluff. I know what they have, what they're capable of. The name you have not heard a lot this year is Cameron Dixon. You've heard Andre Mims a whole lot. Andre Mims, we still have your Player of the Week helmet from week 1 and from week 11 last season. So if there's any Flower Bluff folks out here, coaches, anything, we just want to get it to them. We sent a text. I don't even know if the text was read. But so I can't say they left us on read, but we'd really like to deliver both of those helmets.
I would like to know what happened, because we had a good relationship with the Bluff, man. We used to get to go to their games. That's where I got screamed at by Justin. Like, I want to go relive that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Too. I like that. But you know what? We didn't even try this year.
We even had the VIP. We even had the VIP treatment that one year where they put us in the good parking.
Well, I was going to say we had VIP parking that year. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll try again next year. We'll try to thaw these. I don't know. I don't even think the relationship's frozen. I think I don't know.
They left us on read, bro.
Yeah, I guess so. And then that jumps us to the game of the week. Corpus Christi Miller at Gregory Portland. I put this game as the game of the week because I thought you were going to be there. You'd be able to get in there. Fortunately, I forgot you're working. So what are your thoughts right off the gate?
I think that the stars really got to align for Portland, right? It's either going to be a close game that's winnable for them, or they're going to get walked off their own turf. I don't really see much in between there. I think for them to beat Miller, you're going to have to score damn near every possession, right?
And stop a few.
Our secondary's suspect to the pass, and we know what Trevor and his receiving core can do. So you got two ways to go about it. You get in a gun shoot with them, a shootout with them, or you try to do what Sinton did and you try to bully it, control clock, and hope that your run game can muscle it up and you can get a couple stops here or there, maybe off some just bad series that Miller does. Want to say, and I told my buddies, I think I told you, I was like, I'm in a tough spot here. I picked GP over Sinton, and Michael said I had to pick him so he wasn't upset with me. That's my alma mater. Uh, I usually side with Miller over Portland, but I think this week, man, I'm going to stick to my guns like I always do. I'm going to take my Cats in a close one over
It's
Miller.
honorable. It's honorable.
I'm going to take my Cats over Miller at home and homecoming. This is their homecoming too, by the way. That was crazy. Scheduled that game,
Wow.
but
Okay.
yeah. So
That's like Sid and Quero all over again.
yeah, all over again. So I'm gonna take my Cats in a close one in a shootout with Miller. They're gonna have to really, really, really play probably the best game of the season. They're gonna just have to hook up on all their passes, man. I think you need to feed Coates, feed him a lot. You need to get that dude in space, let him work, and then obviously Dominguez and number 7 are gonna have to come up big as well in that game. And then I think a little bit of balance run with Cody Adame if that front can get the D line moving on Miller. Because Miller's going to score and they're going to score a lot. So that's that's my take. That's what I'm going with. They're going to have to get pressure on Trevor, try and make him feel uncomfortable, which is hard to do considering how DeSoto played against him and how well he threw the ball in that game. So I'll tell you what kind of a dude he is, and then probably get yelled at by Coach Evans again, but. Stick with my alma mater, dude.
I think you'll understand this one. No, I'm going to take Miller in this one all the way. Just for the reasons you said, there's a lot of playmakers on that side of the ball, and I just don't think that Portland, they'll score, but I don't think they'll be able to finish this game.
And that's been the knock on this class, I think, was they have a hard time finishing games, right? They have a hard time finishing games.
Oh, hang on. I got something here. Hang on. Let's see. I got something here from Coach X here. The Harris weekly rankings. The one that Cybert used to get all the time.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Which I think the coach would like that one more.
So Flower Bluff is not in the top 10.
Nice.
5A D1, Alito, A&M Consolidated, Denton Ryan, Highland Park, Frisco Lone Star, San Antonio Piper, College Station, Georgetown, Angleton, Lufkin.
I'm not going to lie to you. You want to hear my take on the ranking?
So here you go. Number 14, PSGA North. Number 21, Flower Bluff.
You want to hear my take on the rankings?
Let's hear it.
I'm a rankings guy. Just me, if I'm building a rankings list, I'm going to build it exactly probably like the Harris one. Now, I can't give you a direct 11 through 20 right now off of that list. I don't disagree with what they got PSJ and Flower Bluff ranked considering schedule. But the reason why I say that is,
Vets Memorial's number 17.
Bless Dave Campbell's heart for throwing the South a bone. But I do think maybe they have to throw in, outside of Refugio, they have to throw in a school from the Valley or from Corpus every now and then, even San Antonio. But San Antonio's a little more, it doesn't raise the red flag a little bit into the top 10 to show some love this way if you're having a good season. Because to be honest with you, man, I've seen some really good teams down here get ranked like that, and then they're out by round 3. And they get beat by a 3-loss team out of the Austin area, Houston area, or San Antonio area. So I think that's why a lot of the coaches like that ranking system right there, the Harris system that comes out, because it's true. Honestly what it is. It's probably really truthful to what the state is, and you can't dispute that top 10. Read the names off. You can't dispute that top 10. So it's hard to say, hey, Flower Bluff deserves to be in that classification of top 10 when they're scheduled the way it was, and that's not me dogging them. That's just the truth, man. That's outside of Refugio down here, who I think rightfully should be in the top 10 damn near every year. It's really hard for me to sit here and say that the Coastal Bend and South is rightfully in that top 10. Sinton this year, I'll give them credit. I think they deserve to be there based on schedule. But outside of that, man, it's really hard to sit there and say, hey, yeah, Flower Bluff's a top 10 team in 4A football or 5A football right now. That's not me being a hater. That's just kind of how I feel about how the and look at the state finals. Where do the teams come from? Predominantly
DFW.
DFW, Austin, Houston, a lot of that, dude. So I think that's why a lot of coaches tend to go with that poll right there.
Yeah, and it's looking pretty. Yeah, I'm just looking at the other classes right now, just seeing where they've got everybody. Wow, Nederland jumped up to number 2.
Okay.
Richmond, Randall, Nederland, Dallas, South Oak Cliff, P&G, Alamo Heights, Texas High, Argyle, Brenham, Iowa Colony, and Prosper Walnut Grove. Top 10 there. They've got Miller at number 14.
Probably true to ranking.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. That's it. That's it. Yeah, Justin. I think you're just jumping in. Yeah, we figure George West can get past this little hiccup here and they're gonna end up taking district and kind of cruise control the rest of the season. That last week, kind of rest your guys.
Yeah.
They can be able to move it. It ain't gonna be chosen, in my opinion. Yeah. Look, Clay Sherman. Look at that, dude. Everybody at Clay Sherman. If you follow the page, you see Clay Sherman's name pop up. It's never anything good about Miller. Miller's going to handcuff GP. They're going to be able to move. It isn't going to be close, in my opinion. Miller by at least 30.
I was waiting for Lavelle to pop on here.
We know he's not watching baseball. We know that's not happening.
True.
But man, I think that's it. Next week we will actually probably do a daytime show because we will be on nights. Yep. And I will not be off until Friday morning, possibly. So there won't be any time to get a nighttime show next week. So we may do it live next week during the daytime. That way it's not canned. So if you guys can take an extended bathroom break during the day, lunchtime break or whatever, yeah, hop in. We'll do it at noontime probably sometime next week, probably Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll figure it out. But that's it. So Halloween's this Thursday, which is weird, right? So with Halloween's Thursday, it's our homecoming. We have our bonfire Thursday night and parade, that's going to be interesting to see how it breaks out the city of Odom. The Pumpkinhead may or may not make an appearance in town.
What you need to do is wear the Pumpkinhead over there and then put the Pumpkinhead on the top of that burn pile.
It's a giant I see. Look, dude, see, I would have been terrible. So last week, my wife went to the Cal Allen game when we were in Edna, and you know she's made it a point. For those of you guys that are new to the show, my wife's a Cal Allen grad, and her cousin was a player for the Wildcats as well back in those Lamarck era, the 96, 97, 98 teams, maybe even 99 too, I think. Our goddaughter is a cheerleader for Cal Allen, and she was actually named homecoming queen there at Cal Allen last Friday. So that was a bit of a shock to us. I've never had anybody related to me win anything like that. So that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, cool. Wow. So my wife was kind of on the fence whether she wanted to go or not. She wasn't feeling well and she ended up going. So it's something she's very, very happy that she got to go out there for. So it's something we're all really proud of for her. Congratulations, Madison. We're very happy for you. She actually won something. She does that ACE cheer or that MAC cheer, that Modern American cheer thing as well. And she won something for that too this weekend too. So she's kind of riding a high note. She needs to go buy some lottery tickets now or go or do something. But guys, again, as always, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Brian Alwell for Chevrolet. Thank you to Bubba and company over at Dawson Recycling for believing in us. Thank you to Elite Tank Solutions providing our weekly award, which we haven't got out yet. We will get that out tomorrow. We'll put the voting on till Thursday. We'll have your announcement either Thursday night or Friday morning. Guys, thank you guys for watching and having these other guys, Brian Williford, Dawson Recycling, Elite Tank Solutions, for believing in us and continue to believe in us and put some money behind the show. That way we can expand the show and cover some more athletes. Yeah, definitely Roland. Roland's a coach for Poth. I saw him a couple years ago when they played in Mathis. I don't remember who they played, but it was bad. That was the Gabe Stelansky game. That guy just kind of bursted on the scene for us anyways that week. And I kind of followed him, see what he was doing through the rest of the playoffs. Very excellent player last week. Poth's always got some good ball players as well. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.